This is the older Boudreau clan right here.
Who's going to take the worst picture? Come on, take a couple.
Hurry up, so late.
Yeah, we got to carry
Okay. No, I need one more. Wait, everybody, like, look this way. Say, cheese. Cheese. Everybody's cheese.
How good job.
Uncle Paul, that was good.
Okay.
Bye, Boudreaux.
90, and we're here at the Boudreau family reunion. And we're going to go around and see if we have any Boudreau stories. And I think there's some aged Boudreaux here who can share a few good stories about their life with us. A couple stories.
We have a lot of stories.
You're lucky if you get one out of me.
Do you remember?
You'll be ahead of the game if you get one.
How about the time you came over to me and told me that...
This well that she's talking about?
Who?
The well.
Yeah, I can't remember the well.
Is that towards the front of the house?
That's Ray. Do you remember the time that,
Big round hole
What are you talking about? In our back?
oh shit. He had a bicycle to sell.
Between the apartment building and
What was his name? Your friend? Harvey Young.
Harvey Young.
You want to sell a bike for $5?
I always thought that was...
Did you get it?
Sure, you got it for me.
I bought it for you, right?
Right.
Remember that?
That's right.
$5.
How come that's not a story?
That was a lot of money in those days, too.
I know, yeah.
How come that's not a story? Your brother bought you a bicycle.
That's a story.
I don't want
That's
to
a story. How about the first
headline,
set?
but-
How about the first set of guns you got for Christmas? You
This one.
remember those?
Huh?
You remember the set of guns I bought you?
Did she hear what's going on there?
How?
No.
You're sneaky, George.
Oh, I guess so, huh?
Look at each other.
Yeah.
Remote control.
Margaret's in the way.
We
Margaret.
won't leave it.
One
You're
thing
in the way to camera.
One thing I remember. Well,
I can get all that.
move over and let her sit down.
Get the wide lens on.
That's the shy one, huh?
We need stories like that on tape when we were kids.
What story?
All the stories we had on Hopkins Street must be a million of them.
Well,
Oh yeah, you remember the time we had that shed in the back by the
Yeah.
old building there?
Right.
And the police cars come and they took 2 squad cars and a police paddy wagon to take all the stuff out of it.
I didn't have nothing
That
to
you
do with it.
guys stole? Is that-
Oh, he was the good one in the bunch.
Yeah.
He was the only one that didn't get caught.
Well, did he steal a couple of typewriters or not?
No,
Don't
that
forget.
They stole everything.
This is-
They stole.
Yeah.
That was Rainie.
Butch and Rainie.
No, that was Rainie and Harvey's brother.
Oh, was it? Did
Yeah,
we now
right.
steal those typewriters?
Yeah, we were coming home from the movie.
Whatever happened is innocent until proven guilty, bitch.
You're getting all of this,
Harvey and Church
Marianne.
were the one that used to steal things and bring it in their
Well,
hut.
yeah.
Do you remember the hut you had in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You stored everything in.
I left the typewriters and I stole the building.
They built the
They
hut.
were terrible.
And what'd your parents do when they found out?
My
I don't know, I was never
mother
home.
never knew these things.
Your father never knew?
You got to turn a little bit, face
Well,
the
when
camera.
I was bad, for one reason or another, I played hooky from school or something. I remember coming home late at night because I knew once I get in the house, I'm going to get a good spanking.
How
So
about
there's a big old tree in the backyard on Hopkins Street.
Remember that?
That
Yeah,
big
that was big.
oak tree.
Right.
Oh, on her.
I remember I used to come in there after it got dark, under the cover of darkness. I would climb the tree and look in the windows to see if they were still up.
Did you believe that?
Did you ever get a whipping?
Yeah.
Tell us about the
Didn't I
time
ever?
you went to Christmas. They had a Christmas tree sale across the street, and they gave you $20, told you to go to the drugstore and get some change, and you went to the drugstore, didn't have no change. They gave you another $20, said go to the bank. George, you went right to Main Street. He bought, he had $40. He bought for everybody. And knocked at the door, said to my old man, where's your son George? He's got $40 of our money. I said, it's too late now. George, you had already bought toys for everybody.
You bought toys?
I told you he was a good guy.
Huh? Remember that? I don't know if you guys do.
Yeah,
That's unreal. Remember that?
yeah, the Christmas tree place on the hill.
I think Joe Man got about $10 back. He had up $10 out of his pocket to make up for it.
Leo?
Yeah, I went to Western Autos and got a bunch of toys there. They were glad to see me. That story was. $40 was a lot of money then.
The time Polly and I were in the orphanage,
Yeah.
you came home from the service. You were home on leave at Christmas, and you came up to the orphanage and took Polly and I out and brought us home. It was Christmas Eve.
Is that right?
Yeah, in Millington.
No.
Yeah, when they were in Millington.
We were in New Britain. We were in an orphanage in New Britain, and you came up on Christmas Eve and picked us up. Remember that? And you brought us home, and there were, the first time I ever remember having all Christmas presents under the tree. There was a doll carriage, and Paulie had guns and all kinds of stuff. Do you remember? You don't remember that at all?
See, when he was in the service, he never came home on leave.
No, he was home because he came up to the orphanage to
He
pick
never
us up.
came home on leave.
Well, then maybe he was coming out of the service
I
or
went and I
something?
came home. That was it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then maybe that's what it was when you were getting out of the service?
No, when he got out of the service, you were home.
No, because he came to pick us up.
Maybe it was before you went into the service.
Oh, maybe, I don't know.
Because you were.
I was 6
Leo used to do a lot for you guys, huh?
years old.
Didn't I?
Would you have been in the
Then
service
Leo
then?
did, huh?
Would you have been in the service when I was 6
First
years
Paulie,
old?
get him
Maybe
in
you weren't
here.
in the service then.
No, I don't think he was.
I was 6 and
You
7
were-
years
you were
old.
living home then.
Paulie was 5. Had you been in the service yet?
That was before you went in the service.
That would be like 43. 43, 44.
Don't block the camera. Don't block the camera.
Was it? Maybe it was. I don't know. I don't know what year Leo went in the service.
Because when he went in the service,
I went in
you
service
were falling.
43.
This was 43 or 44 because I was
Yeah,
like
about
6
that
and 7
time.
years old because they took
All right,
me
so-
out of first grade to put me there.
All right, yeah. It had to be
Hey,
before you.
I was the father of it.
I remember
I know.
he bought us all toys. There was a carriage and everything and all kinds of toys.
I did everything for you guys. You guys don't appreciate it.
You just want us to pay back the rest of our lives.
What did I do for Butch?
Did you buy him a bike? Buy him a bike.
No, I bought George a
When he
bike.
got out of the service, all right, I wanted to go to West Middle, and Mom would not hear of it. Okay? And he got out of the service, and I talked to him. I said, I'm doing terrible. I hate the Catholic school, and blah, blah, blah. And he says, I'll talk to her. And he got Ma to let me go to West Middle.
Yeah, I could
You
do
remember
most
that?
anything.
He was the father. He
Yeah.
was the father.
Your mother listened to you?
Yeah, everybody did.
Yeah.
I can
I was
remember.
the father of Mitch.
Can you remember?
Then I used
Can
to
you
go roller
remember when
skating.
I was
I came
dating and I
home
used to
once-
stay at your house? I used to come up and park in front of
I
his
was
house
late
in the
that
car
night
with the
coming home.
guys and sit in the car and neck.
The
We'd
bus-
go on the
the
damn
bus
porch
broke
and flash
down,
lights on and off
So
until the
it
guys
put us a
were
little
late.
late getting home. And my mother was very strict. When she said you were home at 11, you were home at 11, not 5 after 11. All right? Well, I tried to explain to her that everybody got on the bus, and it broke down, so we had to wait for it. We had to wait for another bus, all right? But that was beside the point. I was still punished.
What kind of punishment did you get?
Couldn't go roller skating for a couple of weeks.
Oh,
That was.
Or a month.
a month.
She
But I thought everybody.
So I talked to him. I explained to him what happened.
How come?
He said, I'll talk to her.
How come Freddie was the oldest, but he was the one that handled everything?
Freddie about, he was never home.
Oh, okay. Because I, you
No,
would
he was
thought
a-
the oldest brother would have
Well, he
been
was a
that.
ladies' man. He was never home.
Are you old? You're older than her?
Yeah. Oh, but she believed me, but that was beside the point. That's what my mother was. You talked to my mother?
Yeah.
And I'm going to roller skate.
Well,
I know what I was just telling about.
Oh,
Yeah, I just got, didn't you hear me?
You gotta tell the camera about
I did. I did. Well,
Yeah,
it was
but
right here.
the camera was listening to her story.
When I was 15 and 16, I used to go to Lil and Leo's house and stay there and babysit a lot. And on Saturday nights, I would always go out on a date. And I would come home from my date, or I used to work in a movie theater and get out of the movies at 10 o'clock. The boys would drive me home and would try to sit in front of the house and neck a little. And as soon as Leo would hear the motor of the car shut off, he'd stand there and switch the lights on and off, until the guy got so embarrassed he said, I think they're trying to tell me something. And if we ignored the lights, he'd come out on the porch and stand like this. And if that didn't get you moving, nothing did. And Lil used to say, leave her alone, she's not doing anything wrong, she's right in front of the house. Well, Leo didn't think that way. It was something else.
How about that time you went out on you were out a date or whatever you were?
Yeah.
Right? You came home. I was married. She came home, and we used to have stairs to
I
go up
remember
and
that, and I stayed
so her
down at
and
the
her
bottom of the
boyfriend
stairs.
sat on the bottom of the stairs.
I was in the house, but inside the door, but at the bottom of the stairs.
And my mother never fell asleep until, you know, we were upstairs where we belonged. Well, she came home the time she was supposed to, but instead of going upstairs to let her know she was home, she didn't. She figured she was sleeping. And it was quite late when she...
Yeah, 3 hours later, but I was in the house.
Needless to say, was she punished. She called me
grounded.
to come over.
My mother never hit, but you were grounded.
She calls me up, you come over this week and I got to talk to you. So she explained to me what happened. She said she really punished me really severely. It's not fair, I was there, you know, you got to talk to her. So I remember she had me get her out of that.
So you talked to your mother and got her out.
I had a lot of people talking for me. I had a lot of
Well, you're
help all
almost
around.
the baby. Are you the second to the youngest?
Right.
Oh. Didn't she get more lenient as she had more kids?
She got away with murder for my mother.
Yeah, I think so.
I was 16 years old. I couldn't even get in a car in front of my house. The guy come over the house. He had to get out of the car and sit on the steps. God forbid the neighbors thought I'd come home in a car.
Yeah, but I wasn't allowed to sit in cars in front of the house either.
I was going out with him.
I was going out with them.
They couldn't sit in the car.
In the carriage one day, and Henry, this cop, for the neighborhood cop, he stopped her. And he was talking to her or something, and we were talking to play with Punne and everything, and then all of a sudden, something happened. She must have got sick of him, but I lifted up the lid to the carriage, and there were 2 45 pistols there.
The cop with the pistols in my
No, we did. Yeah, we.
my guys did. I remember. And
You and who?
Didn't know that. No.
There was 2 loaded guns in her carriage.
Yeah, and the cop almost fainted.
Oh my!
What the hell is it? Yeah, my boxer. He never reported it.
Whose guns were they? Who put them in there?
Hey, Stone.
So look at Butch.
No, I don't think it was Butch.
You think it was Uncle Freddie?
No,
Your brother Leo?
it was me and Georgie.
You and Georgie? Uncle Georgie?
Yeah.
Uncle Georgie wasn't a nice,
Oh,
innocent
he was-
guy like you think he is. He had a lot of bad years.
Oh, he was bad, George was. Oh,
Bad George?
he was the worst one of the family.
Was he?
Oh,
He
yeah.
was bad, but he did it in a good way. He was always so polite, Georgie. He was always a gentleman.
We were telling Sandra last night, when Ray was younger, what were you, 18, 19 years old? When you used to go into the department stores to get dressed?
No, I was only about 14, 15.
When he was about 14 years old and he wanted to get really dressed up and sharp looking, he would go downtown on Main Street and go into the department stores, dress himself up real good in suits and everything, and then turn around and walk out the store.
And you never got in trouble with your dad?
No, one time
My
I
father
did.
never knew what we did.
No. Mom didn't know either. We used to have a little cubby hole down in the basement, and it was always cold and damp in there. Well, every time we used to have parties and stuff, we used to rob the little store down the street.
We don't even sound
And
like a
we
nice
used-
family.
We used to bring groceries home and cutties. We used to break into cutties and get meat, bologna, and all that stuff and put it down there. Every time she sent us to the store, we'd run down and check, see what we had. After a while, she wondered how come her credit list was so damn small.
Credit tab at the grocery store, and they'd have to go to the store and charge. Never got a bill.
I know, but she found out once. We followed us down the basement. Yeah.
Along with your dad?
Oh, yeah.
He was the only boy in the family that got along with Dad.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
We never figured out how or why. Why?
I don't know.
What, did he yell at everybody else, or?
I don't remember.
Were you most like your father?
Yeah, in New Britain.
It's just
Yeah.
Ray. Just a short time. Why was Butch the only one that got along so well with Dad?
How old
In the younger years.
I don't know.
He was the only boy that my father was able to do it. Dad? No, he was the only one that got along good with Dad. No.
stock for them and everything.
No.
Different families.
I don't know where you got that.
You ever seen my nail marks on the ceiling? On Hopkins Street?
The others might have been
Go over here and see what Uncle Harpo's talking about.
God, he used to beat them.
What? Did you ever get a beating?
Not me. Not me.
You were the good one.
I was the good one. I was never home. I never lived at home.
Yeah? Did you work? What'd you do, move out?
No, I lived on Washington Street most of my young life. I was
In
running...
the well?
No, reform school.
Reform school?
No, I didn't spend much time. Don't believe that. The only reason he didn't is because the judge told my mother either he goes to somebody else.
Now the truth comes out. That's
Or he goes to the boys' school. One or the other.
My mother took him one time.
Him and Harvey Young's brother used to run around together and get... Oh, hold on. I don't remember Harvey Young having a brother. Oh, yeah,
I didn't know any of this.
After you left, Rainie started running around with him.
He wasn't.
I don't. No, Harvey Young...
Something that hung around with him.
Harvey Young never had a brother. No, sir.
Well, what kind of trouble did you get into?
Just like anybody.
Fighting,
No,
stealing?
I don't. No. Playing hooky.
That's right. The one at the end of College Street.
But they all did that, didn't they?
They run around.
Didn't Uncle Ray didn't go to school only 6 months out of the year?
We all played hooky when we were kids. Oh,
They played hooky, they sold things.
who's that?
They all raised decent
Harvey
kids, I
Young
don't
never
know.
had a brother.
And I knew him better than you.
Yeah, he did have an older brother. But when Harvey...
Your boyfriend can't see.
Yeah,
I still got it.
George.
Come back in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, George is the one.
Georgie hung around with Harvey. Harvey turned out to be a cop. Yeah.
He had an older brother, which wasn't on Hopkins Street too much.
Who like that? Harvey Young never had a brother.
He had
hanging around
sisters,
Harvey.
but I don't think he had a younger
He
one.
had no brother.
Ask Uncle Georgie will know.
Harvey Young had a younger brother that hung around with the boys.
Peppy, yeah.
Peppy.
That's what it
Was he the
Peppy
younger
Young.
or older?
See a brother?
He was younger.
Oh, I thought he had an older brother, so it's a younger brother.
Where'd mom go?
He only had one brother and two sisters. Two sisters.
I can't remember a brother. They didn't look all of them.
Ask you a few things about some of these stories we're hearing
Yeah.
about the Boudreaux.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh.
You might be able to recollect a few of these things.
Yeah.
Over on Hopkins Street, you know anything about a well that was over there
A well?
that you threw bikes down? Were you in on that?
No. I would never do anything like that.
Who'd you hang around with in the family
Leo.
as a kid? Leo? Oh. Were you in on stealing those typewriters?
No.
The bicycles?
Never had nothing to do
skis.
with that.
You never stole nothing.
Leo never stole a thing.
He never stole nothing.
No, sir. Honest kid.
Leo was honest kid.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
What'd you do for fun?
went to the Hill Grill.
Oh. As a young kid? You could
I
drink?
wasn't that young.
Oh.
No. I was with Leo and Freddie.
Oh.
I was their age.
You were their age?
Yeah.
And you grew up with them since how old?
Since 43, 44.
So how old were you then?
Huh? About 5.
Oh, so you've known them.
No, I'm only kidding. 44, I just got out of the service. I was 24.
Oh, so you got any stories to share with us about the Boudreaux that you knew? No?
No,
No
just,
stories? Gotta have a good story.
I just was always with my Boudreaux over to Park Street, New Park, we'd sing, have a good time.
Sing? Everybody sang around?
Yeah.
Sing?
Oh, yeah.
Play music?
Yeah.
Did you play one of those instruments?
Just harmonica.
A harmonica?
With your brothers,
Oh,
younger brothers,
yeah. I remember
Rainie,
that.
and then we used to all sing. That was a
Every
favorite
Saturday
thing.
night, right?
Say maybe Sunday afternoon we used to go
Oh.
over to Bonton on New Park Avenue. Or the Park Restaurant on Park Street.
Oh, everybody bring their instrument and sit around?
No, there was a band there.
Oh, there was?
Yeah. Everybody used to sing, have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a great time.
So he gets there, and who's there but Charlie? Because I didn't know him then.
Did Jamie know him at that point?
Yeah. But he comes and he says, oh, you got it out already. I said, well, it's still smoldering. I said, you going to put any water on it? He says, no, it's all right. He says, you did a good job. And then they turned around and left, you know. And now it's all a big joke, you know, every time.
What'd you do, run down without a truck?
No, they come down with a truck, but by the time they got there, it already
It took them so long to get there.
grass fire out.
Are you giving that to Margaret?
Did you ever hear the
That's when they started going together.
Did you ever hear the story about Paulie a couple of years ago when he was shooting off firecrackers and caught the neighborhood on fire? Let Paulie tell you that story. Well,
I told it once today.
yeah, but they're telling stories now.
Yeah, but they're not telling. We're telling stories about your mother and father. Not about us. No, you already had one. That's what this is.
Okay.
All right, we're just saying something about our mother and father.
Okay. Okay.
Your kids are going to talk about you and
I don't have any memories of my mother and father. Really, I really don't have any memories.
Nobody does.
I really don't.
Of your mother-in-law?
The only real
No, his
memory
mother.
that my mother and father. I mean, I remember my mother, of course. I remember my father. The thing that stands out in my mind, and I think it was Leo, took us to Riverside Park with Ma, and there was some stairs there, and there was money.
Money in the heads of
You and I were finding money.
There were
all over the
two
place.
like lions' heads or something, and there was money. Somebody put money in the ears and in the eyes and all the. And I sometimes wonder if it was Leo that did it, because we were so excited about finding all this money stuck in the head of these animals.
Where's Leo? I think it was Leo.
It might have been Leo. Yeah.
Because you and I went.
I can remember that.
We went to Riverside Park, and that's.
And remember when we'd go to Riverside, we'd stand in front of that laughing lady.
Yep. Ma.
And Ma would stand there in front of that laughing statue, and she would laugh as hard as the
Stand in front of the fat lady laughing.
And all the lady did was laugh, and Ma laughed right. And then she'd get everybody else laughing. Nobody knew what they were laughing at.
A group of people were just standing there.
Imagine the people standing around watching us.
At least they had something to laugh at. No, that was funny.
You know what, I was just telling Mary Ann a good story to tell her about Daddy, how we got him off of Hopkins Street over to Adams Street. Do you remember that?
Oh, I don't remember that.
I don't remember that.
He wouldn't move, you know. The house was being torn down, so we had to move.
Yeah.
All right, then Ma ended up buying the house on Adams Street,
Right.
which is a new house.
Right.
He was not leaving. He would not leave. And at that time, you know, he lived in his own back room.
Yeah.
Ma was in with us. So the whole house was emptied out, furniture and all. Furniture and all was moved out of the house. He was still there.
No furniture?
And his furniture. No, his furniture.
Oh, his room was still there.
I don't remember that at all.
Huh?
Yeah. So Leo ended up going back after him and took him down. I think he took him down to the Hill Grill. And while Leo had got him out of the house, they moved all his stuff over. Okay. Brought him back. The room was empty. And Leo says to me, I remember now how it happened. I'm going to take you over to the house. I'm going to show you your room, how much nicer it is here. He says, Pa, he says, you open your door and the bathroom's right there. Remember on Hopkins Street, how long you had to go?
Yeah.
You had to go a mile and a half
down the hall.
You open your door, Pa, you got your private bathroom right there. You know? Right next to your room. In the kitchen. You go right through the little bathroom and you got a kitchen right there. You're going to love it. Just go with me. I'll take you there. Talk louder. And he says, if you don't like it, I'll move your furniture back here and you can stay in this room. He says, but I guarantee you're going to love it there. All right? He says, your mother going to be there. Because, you know, he would never walk through the house. You know how that situation was at home. So we had to have her out of the house. he went upstairs or downstairs or where she went. Anyway, she was out of the house. And they brought Daddy over there. Of course, needless to say, he loved the room. Everything was fine. He stayed there. It was such a commotion to get him to move off of Hopkins Street.
This is when we lived on 16 Hopkins Street, right? And moved to what? 43 Niles Street, I believe it was. 43 Niles Street. No, it was Niles Street. Then after 2 years, we moved to Adams.
I was young, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Oh, you were home?
I was 11 when we left to Hopkins Street.
That was so funny. We had the whole house empty.
Get out of the way.
Because their father going to be landing up. He loved Niles Street.
Hey, you're walking right in front of the camera. So I'm walking behind my...
You say hi to the camera.
Oh, Jesus. Gracie.
Can you think of any little stories you'd like to tell?
Well, an instant the night before my father died, I was home from Quantico, Virginia on a weekend pass. And we went out that Saturday to have a few beers.
Blue Hills Tavern. Kent Tavern?
On a town line, West Hartford town line, a tavern there. And when we got out of the car, I opened the door for him and he got out and he stumbled on the curb and he took a bad fall right there. And I thought he hurt himself bad, but he managed to get up and seemed to be okay. But then we went in and we had some beers. We played with bowling machine, you know. Played a few games of that and had a few more beers and called it a night and went home. Next day I went, had to go back to the base, and I had left. And I always thought he died that day, the next day, you know. And I thought maybe that fall, that he took a bad fall getting out of the car. I thought maybe
that had something to do with it.
I always thought that had something
I've never
to do with
heard
his
that
death.
before. But you never know if he hit his... I mean, if he had hit his head or something, you don't know.
Before Daddy died, that weekend before you went back, you took him out like that, and he asked you, he wanted to go to see the kids, go to houses, which he never visited anybody. And you took him to my house, you took him to Lena's house. You took him to all our houses. He had never been, you don't remember? He had never been any house, and he had asked you. And, you know, I had thought that...
I don't recollect it, but I got a lot of blank spots.
Yeah.
That was always the talk.
He'd never
about,
been
like,
to anybody's house.
he almost knew he was going to go.
Yeah.
He wanted to visit.
Yeah. Do you remember that? Yeah. And it was you that did it. And then you had gone back, and I think that was the week that, that you had gone back and you had done. Because I remember remarking, he had never gone to anybody's house.
Maybe.
And all of a sudden, he wanted to meet you.
I don't remember.
I know, he told me they took him that morning and had some beer. Yeah. And he felt when he went back to the base, and he got back with him. I think it was kind of that day.
You know what I remember mostly about Mom? You remember what we used to eat mostly? Huh? Bologna sandwiches. French fries?
French fries?
What do you mean bologna?
Yeah, French fries and steak.
French fries and veal.
The restaurant was open 24 hours a day.
French fries and steak for him.
Yeah.
Always corn. Always corn.
I remember mostly.
She ran a regular restaurant. She may have had 13 kids, but everybody got their own meal, what they wanted.
You know, there's a certain... That's where they got brunch from.
The brunch came from the Boudreaux. Oh, very good.
She used to cook the French fries in lard. French fries cooked in lard is much better than the stuff that they use today, you know?
Do we want to give a few recipes?
Remember what else you... What was that? Shaw.
Oh, the shredded potatoes with the onion, and there was lard in that.
Never tasted it.
She would bake it in the oven. It was
And I
called
told a few people
Shaw.
about that, because I wanted to know how to make it, and no one's ever heard of it.
Yeah, and I talked to French.
Oh, I've asked a few French people, and they've told me basically what it is.
You know...
It's grated potato and lard.
Remember the championshit?
What's that?
That was milk.
Say it again? Oh, milk and bread. That's when we were down and out. I love that. With sugar. Milk and bread with sugar on it.
We had a lot of that.
We thought it was a treat, and when we grew up, we found out we had that when there was nothing else to eat. I remember
remember that. I loved that. It was great.
That was something else there.
I got news for you. When you had that, you did have a treat.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was either that or have bread and sugar on it, then go to school.
Yeah.